Hi, everybody. Can y'all hear me? Hey, everybody. Can y'all hear me? Am I coming through? Am I coming through clear for y'all today? Let me know, girl. All right. I'm feeling a little discombobulated. Gotta be starting something. Y'all still can't hear? Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. I don't know why you can't hear the sound on any video that I play. I don't know what that's about. Audio monitor. Okay. Ooh, echo. Ha 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 ha. That's funny. Sorry. Gonna fix that. Okay, that's better. I was trying to find a way to look. I was trying to find a way to fix it, but I don't know what the issue is. That's okay. We won't be playing any more music or intros or anything, okay? And y'all let me know if it's doing that weird staticky thing. Uh, you know. Girl, my eyes are like doing the most today. Uh no, go back. Go back where? Uh Okay. I just need to get my graphic. Okay, so I wanted to do something different today, y'all. Um, I know I would normally come to y'all with a Bondy Blue show, and I know most people are not even gonna come to this live because people really just want to hear me talk about the mess. But I just I needed a change of speed. Like I didn't even want to talk about anything. I didn't see anything on the blogs that I really wanted to talk about for real that I haven't already talked about. And the truth of the matter is, y'all kept asking me to bring girlfriends back and to get into that. And I kind of felt like, why not? Like, that might be more of a feel good, let's have a good time. Let's talk about one of our favorite shows. Let's get into it. You know what I'm saying? That felt like that would be good, right? So y'all let me know how y'all feeling. Like, I'm just trying to figure it out. System output mix mode. Let's take that off. Y'all let me know if y'all can hit a shit right quick. Like, hold up.
Well, I tell you what, watch that dick sucking shit, because that'll go bad. Call it what you want.
Could y'all hear that? Did y'all see that? I mean, did y'all hear that? Let me know. Yes? No? Yes, we need this. I'm here for it. I'm so captivating. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was just talking about HIV/AIDS episode with someone today. It's such a good and relevant show. It is. It is. Yes. Okay, great. Yes to the light. Always. Hey, Talia. Okay, so y'all are hearing. Okay, great. I fixed whatever the problem was. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Listen. I'm sorry. That's a reference. All right. I'm feeling like the weather changed, so I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. So I'm probably gonna do this live, and then I'm probably gonna go and lay down. Okay, because that's what it's feeling like. I had to take my dog to the vet. It's feeling like after I get off of here with y'all, I'm going to lay it down. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Put 227 on and go to sleep or something, or maybe just go in a tent and go to sleep. But I do want to come to y'all tomorrow for members only, and we're gonna sit and listen to the Rashonda Landfair book together. I want to do that, so we're gonna do that tomorrow. Okay. So on Saturday, y'all will be in y'all house cleaning up, whatever y'all doing, and I'll definitely be here starting over with that book with y'all. Okay. So yeah, all right. Let's get into my notes for girlfriends. But first, girlfriends, my girlfriends, they're through thick and thin. My girlfriends, they're for anything. My girlfriends. Okay, shout out to Angie Stone, RIP. Okay. So this is Girlfriend Season 2, Episode 1. The girls are back from Jamaica, and Tony just bitch slapped Joan because Joan spilled the beans to Greg that she was engaged to the doctor that gave her chlamydia, if I recall. Okay, yes. Now there is a playlist of this first season that I did. If you have not seen it, there is a playlist. I'll repost it after I get off of here so y'all can see that one and catch up on that one. But I'm going to attempt to finish season 2 as well. All right. And for everybody that was always wondering, will I ever finish Lovecraft Country? I'm planning on doing that as well. Okay, because I really have gotten a little, tired of talking about the blog sometimes, and I need other shit. Okay, so I'm gonna be coming to y'all with the TV stuff a little bit more often, especially because nobody's really feeling reality TV in the same manner. So scripted it is, okay, and old scripted that we like. All right, we're gonna talk about it, girl. Okay, so back to what I was saying. The girls are back from Jamaica. Tony just bitch slapped Joan. Darnell doesn't like bald cat. Let's discuss. I didn't realize it before. Now, after having more life experience, I can tell you Darnell is emotionally abusive to Maya. Him always dictating where the emotions are is the problem. If they have sex, it's up to him. If they are getting along, it's up to him. If they're arguing, it's up to him. It's always him. However he feels is how everybody feels. And however Maya feels, that's just how Maya feels. Maya can get upset, and all Darnell has to do is raise one eyebrow and it doesn't matter. But Darnell can flip out over any little thing, like you getting a wax. Something he should have been fine with. Like, I do get it because, like, essentially we know now that we understand a, a bulk of our society since the 80s has been heavily influenced by PDF files, right? So the waxing thing, even though I feel like sometimes I enjoy it as a woman, like the feeling of it, I still feel like why that started to happen and why that became popular culture is because people want grown women to look like children in different ways, right? Sometimes they want you to be small in frame. They want you to be really thin. They want you to be hairless. Or if you're a white woman, they want you to be a blonde. They want you to act stupid. They want you to be submissive. They want you to be docile. They want you to feign and weaponize incompetence and all of that shit, right? So that they can have a need filled and all of that. I just want to be clear, okay? So Darnell having an issue with her getting a wax to the point that he did not want to have sex with her. And then because he could not have sex with her, he was angry with her. It's her kitty cat, man. Real. It's for her. It's hers. I do understand preferences, but my God, on today, what's happening? It really annoyed me. And it felt like in these episodes, it felt like he was cheating on her and that was never brought to the forefront. Almost as if it was more entertaining to have Maya be the one having an affair. When it actually felt like, especially based off that shit that happened in season 1, when, Darnell was down there with Laura from Family Matters down to the airport, feeding each other strawberries and shit. That was one of the main reasons why Darnell stopped liking Joan, was because Joan was the one that saw him at the airport feeding bitches strawberries and went back and told Maya, you done fucked up his whole situation. But the way he would pick fights with her, y'all, that's what a man would do when he trying to fight with you so he can go and fuck on that other woman. Or if he just had sex with that other woman and don't want you to be all on him just yet, so he pick a fight with you to push you up off of him. I didn't even realize it, but men often like weaponize their emotions to back you up off of them for whatever reason. But I didn't realize they were doing that. Like, I thought it was like a genuine upset. But no, they actually will like overly exaggerate how they feel about something so that they can back you up off of them or so that they could teach you a lesson. That's another thing. Okay. So Joan got home to find Sean standing half naked in the living room with Tony on the sofa trying to get revenge dick. This was not even necessary. The only reason you would ever do something this stupid Because, girl, I tell y'all all the time, it is so dangerous to try to use your cootie cat as revenge. And I think it's weird. Like, if you would not have sex with that man otherwise, for you to decide to go and try to fuck him to get back at your homegirl who didn't even fuck your man, just accidentally told him the truth when you was over there being flaw. And yes, I don't think you're supposed to be over there telling on your homegirl, but my God, Tony, you leave early so you could beat Joan to her own fucking house so that you could spread your legs for her sex addict, weird ass boyfriend. And then when you get caught and Joan know exactly what you on, so instead of her responding to you with the anger that I guess you really wanted from her, she actually is more sad and tells you that she is sorry. I'm sorry, Tony. I'm sorry that I told Greg. I did not mean to. It was an accident, but you trying to hurt me like this? This is how we're not going to be able to be friends. Like, bitch, like we can't be friends if you're going to be trying to hurt me like this. I wasn't purposefully trying to hurt you, and you're really trying to hurt me right now in my house. Wild shit, right? Now, Tony feels bad just a little bit, but she's still so fucking mad and indignant about it. She tells her, girl, he wasn't gonna sleep with me anyway. And let me borrow your honey magazine. And y'all, oh my God, I don't know if y'all remember, but I remember what it felt like when I used to get a honey magazine. Oh my God. Like, I don't know what it was about getting that fucking magazine. I need to go and look up the history of the honey magazine because I don't know what it was. I guess it was that time, like that time period for me. This is like my middle school into high school days. And getting a honey magazine was just such a thing. So I remember like it was such a niche thing to have a honey magazine. They were always so nice. Like, I don't know what it is, but I just remember how excited I was to like have my own copy of a honey magazine that wasn't floating around in my mama's shop getting fucked up by everybody's hands. Okay. And so the fact that she picked that lady honey magazine up and walked out the door after she tried to fuck her dude, like it is a testament to when you are a people pleaser, you attract people that take advantage of you being a people pleaser. Because that's exactly what Tony has done consistently in their relationship. And I also feel like there is something manipulative about Tony and Joan's relationship from the very beginning. Almost as if you don't recognize that she stood up for you because she wanted a friend that needed her. She didn't stand up for you because them people was picking on you and that was wrong. She stood up for you because she saw you as somebody that if she did stand up for you, you would be running behind her. And then you would make her feel good about herself by comparison. Because even though they're both beautiful and Joan is the light-skinned girl and all of that, and I think Tony was a little bit more country and didn't have as much money and all of that, but still, like the way Tony asserted herself and the way Joan cowered meant that, Tony has a stronger personality. You're going to be in control of that situation between you and this girl. And even at a very young age. And I think because when you grow up in a household, not only with siblings, but with an alcoholic mother and an enabling father, you learn hierarchical relationships very quickly. You figure out who matters in the moment. And usually the loudest person or the most boisterous person gets to wreak havoc on everybody else. I think that was probably learned, not even like as a realization, but as something that begin the beginning stages of a kid growing into a very manipulative young woman, right? So Sean is leaving for New York and he promises that they will stay connected while he's gone. I never liked Sean. I feel like 9 times out of 10, if somebody has to move out of town, you should let the relationship just go. Like, I hate to say it like that. Okay, and not all the time. Okay, like if you're married, it's different. But like boyfriend, girlfriend relationships, you can try to maintain it, but I feel like you shouldn't put any strong parameters around it and you should get used to the idea that the relationship might disintegrate. Period. Okay. Everyone tells Joan that she needs to be weary of Tony because at this point, Tony, slapped the shit out of you over an accident. That's all anybody knows right now. William and Maya are both telling her, girl, you need to check Tony. You need to smack her the fuck back. Okay. But no, she's my best friend. She's going through a lot right now, making excuses for her. Lynn comes back from Jamaica She was supposed to be staying in Jamaica, but instead came back from Jamaica with William and Yvonne, and Yvonne's new ring, because we all know, Yvonne. Yvonne is desperate for a man. And so even though William is changing everything about her, including her job, her career that she's so passionate about, she's now willing to trade in being a police officer for a wedding ring. And baby, there aren't many times that I love Lynn the way I loved Lynn in this moment. When they announced this to everybody standing in the garage, I think was it the garage, or would it I can't remember where they were in this scene. Maybe they were at Joan's house. No. Damn. I can't remember. Either way, they think they were probably at Joan's house. But either way, she said, "Oh, girl, not giving up your job for a man. Not giving up your job for a man." And it was just like, yeah, I'm glad Lynn was the one to say it. Because, like, just in that moment, like, my God, girl, really? To marry this goofy ass nigga? Really? To marry a Brian Gumble Republican in the early 2000s? Yes, he's successful. Yes, he has a big schlong and he's tall and, country, which are all very, very good things for a man to be, girl. Tall, long schlonged, and country. Great mud to work with. Republican, not so much. Brian Gumble, not so much. Okay? The misogyny is going to be in there somewhere. All right? But either way, it just still felt like, girl, really? Especially because, and I know this because Yvonne got shot, right? Yvonne got shot. And this was about William feeling scared that he might lose her. But it was also a way for him to control her. It was a way for him to take away from her identity so she can now be more connected to him. And in that, he now has all the power in the situation. A lot of times, that's how men flip that shit on you. When you first get into the relationship, it's how men used to be, right? This is the Mac that men used to have, right? Back in the day, a man would pretend to be everything you wanted him to be, including not hating women, right? He would, I want you to be you. I want you to have, your career, all of that. And then as soon as they get you married or get a baby in you, they switch. But they do it like low key, right? Like, babe, maybe you should just quit your job. It's so much. I know you don't, you know what I mean? Like, they do it in a way that makes you feel like you're doing it for yourself or it's something you want to do. Y'all don't even know how to do that anymore. Y'all just want to have a temper tantrum and whine, and then women are supposed to just turn into, a Stepford wife. But no, you have to be like, you gotta bait a bitch. You gotta bait a bitch with, like, really good dates and a nice house all on your own, a good job. Okay, again, a big dick. Like, all of these things are bait. Okay, the way women are set up to want these things out of men above everything else in life, you are supposed to want a big dick man with a great job. That's what you're supposed to want, girl. And when you are being tasked with just that and one you like, my God, you're supposed to drop all of your shit. You're supposed to, like, completely detach from who you are as a person so you can hurry up and grab that shit before some other woman comes and gets it. So I get it, especially for, like, the early 2000s. But my God, on today, thank you, Lynn, for drawing attention to the fact that that was really ridiculous. They go to lunch. And Tony admits that she tried to sleep with Sean to Lynn and Maya because Joan wasn't going to say anything. And rightfully so, they both respond, "Oh, hell no." Because, girl, what the fuck? You didn't hit her. Then you went and tried to fuck her dude. Beating her ass wasn't enough. You bitch slapped her. That wasn't enough. Tony tells them that she and Joan have moved on and they need to move on too. Oh, and Joan's hair is now falling out. That's another thing. And this was a great lesson for women to learn that the things you don't say, the things you hold in will kill you. They will kill you. And I feel like I specifically understood this as a young woman growing up, how much keeping things inside made me sick. So, and I never put it all together, but there was a DV situation that happened, and me and my mom left the house for a few days. Right after that, I went from having 20/20 vision to needing glasses, and I started having acid reflux. And we chucked it up to the fact that I was being harassed at prep on a daily basis. But it was also what was going on at home that I had to stay quiet about, right? I was thinking about this the other day, y'all. I hate to go into my own shit. I know it's a recap, but y'all know how I get with this. And I was just thinking about how, like, not only did I get sick, but like the way you betrayed me in that moment, right? Because I feel like nobody knew what happened. I never told anybody what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't tell my sister. I didn't tell my cousins. I didn't tell my friends. I didn't tell anybody what was going on in our house. But that specific time, I didn't say anything to anybody. That shit was handled in-house. And I didn't say anything to anybody about anything ever until I became an adult. And to me, that was a level of loyalty that I was expecting back. And that's something I find that parents don't know that they do to their kids along the way. You betray us as if we have not been holding secrets for you our entire lives. All of that, what goes on in our house stays in our house shit. And to me, that's a reflection of keeping things down, keeping things in, not speaking on things, and then getting sick physically in the process. It having a physical effect on you, showing how all of these things are connected. And I never really put this shit together back then. It's not until now that I'm an adult that I could think back on how all of these things were happening. That it's like, oh, that makes sense. Because how did I go from having 20/20 vision in like my freshman year? By the time I got to my junior year, y'all, I had to get glasses and I had acid reflux. That shit is wild to me, right? That it's these emotional things, these mental things that will cause all of this physical shit. So Joan's hair is falling out because she's not expressing how she's feeling to anybody because she's being a people pleaser. And of course, this will go back to Joan's childhood. There are further episodes where we get into that with her mama and all of that. But her mom was another very strong personality that made me feel like there was a lot of shushing her, not letting her express herself. Because y'all know Joan in general kind of does a lot of like cowering in moments. So at home, Darnell is withholding sex from Maya. She's letting those girls change her. And I swear, it's like controlling nigga 101 is to isolate you from anybody that would help you see yourself more clear, right? I experienced this with one of my friends where her husband was like, emotionally, like psychologically abusing, financially abusing her. And he would withhold sex from her. And, it was done in a way to make her feel as if she wasn't attractive or she was not wanted. And then he would then, blame her for not trying to have sex with him. But when she would, he would ignore her or rebuff her. So there's a mental game that's being played, and men like to act as if they're so out of control of their dicks all the time. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of men will use sex as a control mechanism in a relationship with a woman, especially if she enjoys the sex. So this is another thing that I was peeping about Darnell that made me really not like him. And I really felt like Maya was supposed to leave him. But the truth of the matter is, it was almost like the writers were reflecting how women in real life weren't ready to do certain things. But Maya should have left Darnell and then just been done with it and stayed apart. But it was like, no, I just want that old thing back. We're meant to be and all of that shit. We'll get to that when we get to that. But either way, he's putting all the blame on her new friends, on Joan, on, Tony and them for convincing her to get a wax. And she would have never went out of town and left her kid without his mother. I'm like, so now she can't go on a vacation because she's a mother? And then Darnell holds a lot of guilt about not financially being able to secure Maya. So Maya having friends that don't have men but have money is absolutely an affront to his ego. Because now you got to try to figure out how to compete with her homegirls, nigga. Okay? Um, then he made a comment about how you would have never hung with a woman who would try and sleep with somebody else's man. And Maya says that would be your mother. They move on from his mom and she begs him for sex. Please, baby, please. And he says, see, that's another thing. I'm the one that used to be begging you for sex. And she's like, okay, well, beg me. And he says, Maya. And before he could even say anything else, she pulls him down on her. And then this moment was meant to be funny, but it kind of pissed me off because it made me feel like, why is it that y'all only enjoy women when it's like you're chasing a child or something, right? When we play hard to get. Why is it, and I've experienced this as a grown adult, woman when I was in my late teens, early 20s, that when you want the sex, it's almost like they're turned off. But when you pretend as if you don't want the sex, that turns them on. What the fuck is that? Y'all, I experienced that so many times with young men before I, was married, dating men and realizing how much they enjoyed me saying no or saying stop versus me being really into it and me coming after them. Then that, I was just like, I don't know what the fuck that's about, but it's always like they're only turned on when they're manipulating you into the sex. And I felt that from this too. And like, I really do wonder how sex happened with Maya and Darnell when they were teenagers. Because it would then feel like, so then he pressured you into the sex y'all had. And this is where rape culture comes in. Because you will coerce your high school girlfriend into sex before she was ready. She would get pregnant, and because of religion and because her mom wants her to suffer, her mom would make her keep the baby, make y'all get married. Now she's stuck with her high school sweetheart. Somebody who, in all honesty, like, you're not even at an age where you can make that type of decision for yourself, but it's all forced on her all at once. I think that's another reason why, like, being a teenage mom sometimes is so traumatizing, because it's like y'all force everything on the girl all at once and then blame it on the fact that you wanted sex. So this is your fault. Yeah, it's really dehumanizing when you think about it. Cause like that's really upsetting. Like when you think about the fact that she would think she was making a decision on her own to be with him. But then when you think about the fact that she may have been coerced into the sex, had the sex, got pregnant, been made to get married because you're a whore if you don't get married. And then you would end up in a relationship, a toxic relationship with a man by way of all these forced situations. But by the time you in your 20s and you and this man still together, you looking at it as a choice you made. But was it really? That's why, like, we be having these conversations about marriage and all of that and what it really means and, like what it actually entails once you're in it. It's a lot of wolves being pulled over people's eyes. You know what I'm saying? So they can't see what's going on and they just blindly into things when they're very young out of fear, right? And so yeah, I feel like when you really think about it, they stunted Maya's growth so much with that. Cause Maya wanted so much more for herself. And it really pisses me off with her mama, which we'll be getting to her mother. But anyway, um, Joan goes to therapy and tells her therapist about her parents being divorced and how, she's got a man now. And so she doesn't even know why she really needs the therapy. But then she tells him that her hair is falling out. She opens up about her issue with her best friend trying to sleep with her boyfriend, the recovering sex addict. Okay, that's a lot, right? And she keeps talking about the history that she and Tony have and how Tony was there for her when she was being bullied as a kid. Tony came to her rescue. And he asked why she puts Tony's feelings ahead of her own. And it ultimately kind of sounds like Tony is like poison because she infects everything. Once you have your first interaction or your first hit of her, right? Like she inserts herself into the situation to save you. Now you give her a chance, you open up to her, and now she forms this closeness with you, which means that she could usurp your life when she feels like it. Meaning she can come into your life, she can use your contacts, she can eat your food, she can make you pay for all of her lunches, right? She could be staying at your house. Like Joan was always taking care of everybody. It was like anything they could get out of Joan, they would take from her. Whether it was living off of her, getting food and lunch from her every day, right? Being able to abuse her and her be kind of like a punching bag for them when they felt like it as well. Like it was a lot that they put on Joan, and her sitting in therapy and that question of why are you putting Tony's feelings ahead of your own? My God. Because I feel like that I had a moment like that myself. You know what I mean? I had a moment like that myself in therapy, realizing what the people pleasing was really about. It's also a control thing, but it's from a sense of abandonment. And it's sad because you hold on so tight to people, not realizing that it's not that you need to learn how to keep people. It's that you need to learn how to let them go easier. That's what the lesson really is. It's not to hold on tighter to people. No, it's to let them go easier. That's what makes life better. When you don't hold on to things so damn tight that you suffocate them. Because that's exactly what was happening in this friendship. Tony sees her signs being covered all around town and realized that in the process of her getting swept up between two men and falling all over herself sad because a man she didn't even fucking want, Greg, found out that she was engaged to a rich man that was a hoe that gave her the clap or whatever you call chlamydia, girl. Okay? That has had her distracted. And so she hasn't been doing a good job at work. And she hasn't sold the house in 3 months. So now shit is going downhill for her. Joan gets home to find she's forgotten about William's engagement party because before all of this happened, she told Yvonne and William that she would have a cute little engagement party for them at her house. And it was crazy because she walks into her house, everybody's there except for Tony. Nobody has really like done anything because they expected her to do everything, and they just showed up dressed. She's running through the door like, oh, I'll just get stuff together, and then realizes that Tony isn't there and then starts flipping out on Tony and saying how it's all Tony's fault. Okay. Um, and she mentions that she has a therapist. And of course, Maya has to tell her, girl, black people don't go to therapy. Girl, girl. That's another thing that kills me, y'all. The way black people are always so willing to not receive any help. Like, I don't want help, bitch. I want to be exactly how I am, even though I'm miserable. Like, okay, girl. Okay, fine. Don't go talk to people about it. Fine. Don't try to get help. Don't try to unwrap yourself. Stay all shriveled up and angry about everything, child. Whatever it is, go ahead and keep doing it if that's what you want to do. But therapy helps black people. It does, especially if you get you a good therapist. Sometimes it's all about a difference in perspective. And I think that a lot, if you get you a good psychologist, it's somebody that can absolutely give you a perspective that can help you see things clearer. That's really all it is, a difference in perspective that will help you and that will alleviate some of the shit you carry around with you. That's what therapy is for. So you can talk through things, connect things, deconstruct things, because sometimes you can't see it because you're always in it. You feel it. But it takes somebody mirroring things back to you in a clinical manner sometimes in order to help you see yourself clearly. Because please don't rely on your family and your friends. I'm sorry. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on. You can't be relying on your family and your friends. Not for real. unless they have, you know, a doctorate in one of these areas. Okay. Joan goes over to Tony's house to curse her ass out because, bitch, I'm mad at you for a whole plethora of reasons, but right now we gonna act like it's about the fact that you didn't come through for Yvonne and William's engagement party at my house that even I forgot about. But when she gets there, Tony's car is being towed away. So Tony is in disarray, girl. Tony then went out there and jumped on top the damn car. Now she done came through the door with a heel missing, hair all fucked up, looked like the truck rolled over and then backed up. Okay? And she says that she's on probation at work because she hasn't sold the property in 3 months. Joan tells her that everyone is going through hard times, girl. Everybody. And Tony says that, I need you right now, Joan. I just need you to fix it. And, you know, she crying and, you know, all of that whining and shit, begging Joan to come and save the day, playing on Joan's emotions. And Joan tells her that, we'll get through this together. And it's like, where's my shit at? Where is it at? But it takes time. It takes time to let go of people that don't really mean you well. It takes a long time. That's why, you know, whenever we talk about people leaving abusive situations, I'm like, why y'all act like it's so easy? It's like, have y'all never been in abusive situations before? Have you never had a job that you really wanted to quit, but you couldn't because you needed your paycheck? It's something like that. Believe it or not, it's something exactly like that. As somebody that has gone through that, working a job that I really wanted to quit, that I was miserable at, but it was so hard because I was scared of the other side of quitting. I was scared of not having the stability that I had in that moment, but I had to jump out on a limb. I had to bet on myself. And you always have to bet on you, whether that's in, you know, your career or in your personal life. You have to bet on yourself because other entities, businesses, or people are always going to choose what's in their best interest. So you have to remember that. And I'm not saying that so that you could be selfish, you know what I mean, and not give a fuck about other people. That's not what I'm saying. But you have to worry about yourself first in a lot of ways. Joan then goes back to her therapist and lies about ending things with Tony. And so then we get to episode 2, okay? But before we get to episode 2, I'm going to run a quick ad, girl, and y'all can tell me if y'all hear it. And then we'll get back into the thing, okay?
Reset by Design Wellness. You done it again. You done it again. It's been 2 days back since my vacation to Bali, hosted by Reset by Design Wellness. And when I tell you I had the time of my life, it's hard to put in words. There was definitely luxury, comfort, you know, vulnerability. Because listen, when it came to the wellness part, I just want to shout out to BondyBlue for giving us all the opportunity by advertising, because we know how hard it is to get these Black companies off the ground. And it's so beautiful to see Thai grow with Reset by Design Wellness. But Bali was such an experience. And I also went on Thailand. That was last year. And I can't even say which one I like better. I can't even say. All I can say is, like, you get the bang for your buck. You get the bang for your buck. Everything is planned out for you when it comes to food, excursions, the wellness part. We had sound baths, we had therapy, meditation, yoga, breath work, everything that I needed to take home with me. And I'm so full. I'm so full. My inner child is happy. My inner child is so happy. The pictures are beautiful. I have a lot of memories to look back on. And I'm not disappointed. I don't think I'm ever disappointed when I go with Reset by Design Wellness, because she's going to take care of you. Even the ladies that were, I'm not even going to say handpicked, but that came on the trip, beautiful spirits, make you feel so comfortable. And it's hard to be around a group of ladies like that without feeling uncomfortable, but no, Reset by Design knows how to pick them. And When I tell you I was able to be authentically myself through this whole trip, like I can be a lot. I can be a lot, and I can't help it. And some people, want to take you with a grain of salt, but everybody accepts who you are, where you are. We listen and we do not judge. And that was the motto of our trip.
All right. Okay. So don't forget that we are going back to Thailand for a group trip. The deadline to sign up is at the end of this month, February 28th, you guys. So if you are planning on coming with us, the cutoff date is February 28th. And I believe we have 4 more seats to fill, I think. 4 or 5. Because somebody had to cancel. But it'll be a great experience. So if you guys want to come, go to Reset by Design Wellness and sign up. You can do a payment plan. You can pay with a firm. It can be done, girl. Okay. And it's gonna be a good time. So y'all should definitely come if you want to come. Again, the deadline to sign up for the Thailand trip is February 28th. But if you can't come to that one, don't fret none. We are still going to Mauritius in September of this year, which is East Africa. So that's another trip. And that will be an actual retreat. And that'll have all the therapy and all of the things, girl. Okay. So let's get back into girlfriends. Girlfriends. Y'all, why am I so problematic though? Because do y'all know, like me and Lyric do this thing where whenever we listen to girlfriends, we have to change the word to bitches? I don't know why. Like we don't go around like just randomly calling women bitches. I don't, y'all. I'm like, be like bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like friend. But like I'm not out here like bitch. Like that's not, you know what I'm saying? I was like, this. Like I'm not confrontational. But the way we will change the lyrics to a song, okay? Bitches, my bitches, everything it is. My bitches, my bitches, there for anything. My bitches. Yeah, that's us. I don't know why we do that. Do y'all remember Between Women? Any of my sapphic women out there? If y'all remember back in the day when we used to watch Between Women, that was between bitches. Pump, 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 pump it up. That was between bitches. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with us. I don't know. But yeah, y'all, I'm sorry. Let's get back into girlfriends. Joan admits to William that she lied to her therapist about breaking things off with Tony. She's also supposed to be meeting Tony for lunch after her therapy session, but Maya has a standing hair appointment that she can't miss. Or Ronnie is going to get Peaches to wash her hair, and Peaches is just too rough. So now the boss, Joan, is cutting her therapy session short so that she can get back to work so her assistant can go and get her hair done during work hours. It's giving people pleasing. It's giving letting people walk all over you, girl. They're walking 5,000 miles over you. Her therapist points out that her letting go of Tony should have made it easier to check Maya. This is a signifier that she did not do what the therapist told her to do. He's a good therapist. He was able to pick up on that. Okay? It shouldn't be this difficult because you just had a huge breakthrough with Tony, correct? He also points out that Tony may be sociopathic or narcissistic. I agree with all of those things. Okay? Really quick, if you don't mind, can we I just want to look up the definition of those things because sometimes I feel like we don't know what we be talking about. And so I just want to make sure we know what we're talking about and we can decide if we think that Tony fits that. Okay. So I'm gonna look up sociopathic first and then I'm gonna read it and you guys tell me if y'all think that Tony fits that. A person consistently exhibiting antisocial, impulsive, and manipulative behavior not in current technical use. Okay, that's because most people don't say sociopath anymore in doctors. Doctors don't call people sociopaths anymore. But yeah, sociopathic traits linked to antisocial personality disorder. That's what they call it now. A pervasive disregard for others, marked by a lack of empathy, guilt, and remorse, alongside manipulative, impulsive, and deceitful behaviors like constantly lying, charming others for personal gain, violating rules, and displaying aggression or irresponsibility, leading to unstable relationships and often trouble with the law. So yeah, I think she fits that. Maybe not getting in trouble with the law, but I definitely feel like she fits a lot of those things. Yeah, girl. It's low key giving anti-social personality disorder. I think I just heard somebody on TikTok say that we don't talk enough about how mean girls are actually like black women who have personality disorders and antisocial personality disorders at that. You just call a mean girl a bitch, but something wrong with that hoe. Okay, for real, clinically. All right, now let's go and look up the narcissistic meaning. Okay, because I feel like she fit that one. All right, narcissistic. A person who has an excessive interest in or admiration of themselves. Okay, let's do AI. In common usage, a narcissist is someone who is excessively self centered, but in a psychological context, it refers to an individual on a spectrum of self absorption, ranging from healthy narcissism to a clinical mental health condition. Okay, so grandiosity, an unrealistic sense of superiority and uniqueness. Tony Childs, who talks about herself in the third person, yes. Entitled self importance, the belief that one deserves special treatment and that others should automatically comply with their wishes. Does that sound like Tony? Lack of empathy and inability or willingness to recognize the feelings and needs of others. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Kind of feels like Tony to me. Kind of feels like Tony to me, y'all. Lynn. Lynn is hiding her Jamaican boo, Bosco, in Joan's house while they are both secretly living there because Lynn isn't supposed to be living there either. Y'all, the way people put laugh tracks behind shit that could have ended up being deadly is unreal to me. Think about this. Think about in real life if you don't even know your homegirl is staying at your house at night. You get up in the middle of the night and there's a fucking man with no shirt on standing in the middle of your living room. Your friend come running out talking about, oh, he with me, he with me. Neither one of them was supposed to be there. But she is hiding that man in this woman's house. Now, thank God Vasco wasn't a sociopath, a psychopath, a rapist. But he could have been. He could have been a Ross clot. He could have been a blood clot. He could have been a blood clot man. He could have been all kind of negative, connotative things that Jamaicans can be. You don't know that man. You just met him on an island and brought him back home with you because the immigration laws weren't as harsh in these Bush days, right? These were Bush days. Oh my God. Joan goes to lunch with Tony to help her with some real estate leads, still extending herself to this lady in a way that she really does not have to. Tony eats Joan's food instead of ordering her own, but then, oh, I have a gift for you. I went and bought myself a pair of shoes, so I bought you a pair too. You don't have any fucking money. You can't afford lunch. Tony says that she never takes shoes back because Joan told her to take the shoes back. It's a gift to manipulate Joan into getting over what Tony did. That's all it is. Then Joan's therapist comes into the restaurant and sees her with Tony, comes over to speak to her. Sorry, y'all. Comes over to speak to her. Why y'all gotta be giving me notifications all loud like that in my ears? My God. And so now the therapist knows that Joan was lying. She asked why she was seeing a therapist because, Tony's like, who's that? And Joan was like, oh, he's my therapist. Therapist? Why do you have a therapist? Because of you. Joan, really? Because of you? Why do you need to go and talk to a therapist about us? What kind of shit is that? We're sisters. We're not even just friends, girl. We're like sisters. Any issue you have with me, you need to be having with me. He's just scamming you and stealing your money. You don't need to be talking to nobody else about us. You need to get rid of him. And you damn sure don't need to be talking to no stranger about what's going on between me and you. Now you're the bad guy. Now you're stupid and you're being scammed. This is gaslighting. This is gaslighting. All because you don't want Joan to become clear of who you are and what you're doing, because then you won't have continued access to manipulate her and suck her dry of resources. Maya stops William from flirting with a random sexy woman who knows him from the gym. And it's like one of those moments where women don't want a man until they see him with a woman, or until they know he's with a woman, or they don't even know he with a woman, and all of a sudden his lack of thirst for coochie is, loud, I guess. And now women are seeing it and they're flirting with him and he's harmlessly flirting back. But to Maya, it's like, dude, you're 2 seconds from fucking that lady, getting her pregnant, and Yvonne committing homicide because you know she will kill you. Okay? Like, what are you talking about? You're thirsty. You're not used to women really coming at you like that. William, be fucking for real. Handle the coochie you got for you get everybody unalive. And that's what we be talking about, because men often try to pretend like they don't know that women are into them. And I feel like it's a way for you to engage in interactions with women that are really flirtation and really kind of like stroke your ego. But it is an opportunity for you to possibly fuck somebody. And you do this shit, but then you act like it's not that big of a deal so that you can continue to do it. Y'all ain't right. Y'all ain't right. So Joan goes back to therapy. Her therapist asks if telling people what they want to hear is a pattern for her. Girl, are you telling people only what they want to hear and not the truth because you don't want to upset them? Because you want to be able to control the outcome? You are holding them back when you do that. Girl, when my therapist told me that, changed everything. It changed everything. But Joan burst into tears and says that she wants Tony to stop hurting her and blaming her for her breakup with Greg and take some responsibility and stop leaving her holding all the pieces of everything, like doing all of the emotional labor. Her therapist tells her to learn to say no. She says that if she says no, then they will hate me. They won't like me. And the therapist tells her until she learns to say no, she's lying to herself. Listen. The writers are on their shit. Okay? Y'all, give me 1 second because I got to blow my nose. I told y'all I'm not, it's doing too much right now. Hold up. Because I don't want to do it on camera and all of this. Like, I don't want to, hold up. What can I do? Yeah, just give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. It was just, girl. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to take some Benadryl and I'm going to lay my ass down. I'll work out tomorrow. That's what I got to tell myself so I don't feel guilty about not working out. Girl. In my life. Okay. So, Joan, like I told y'all, gets surprised by Vasco in the middle of the night when she's going to the fridge. Mind you, y'all, all Joan had on was panties because she thought she was in her fucking house by herself. Y'all, that would have pissed me off. That would have pissed me off so bad to think that I was in the safety of my home to walk around with just my panties on and this bitch snuck some nigga that I don't know in my house And when I'm going to my fridge naked in the middle of the night, there's a nigga standing there. Are you crazy? The way I would have beat Lynn's ass. And then when Joan runs to the back to get dressed, Lynn must have thought that everything was cool now that she knows. So they gonna wait 30 minutes and then christen her sofa. What, bitch? So you gonna get you and this random Jamaican nigga's bodily fluids on my sofa? It's not even leather, bitch. The sofa is not even leather. You're gonna leave a wet spot on my couch? You gotta go, my nigga. You gotta get out of here. That's ridiculous. She told both of them to get the fuck out. They ended up spending the night in a tent in the backyard. And then Lynn had the audacity to have an attitude about it. Did something happen? Something probably happened. I feel like I be hearing something change in the sound. And then when I watched it back, it was some type of rink, something weird. But anyway, I'm gonna have to do an update on all of this shit. Hold on, I'm a therapist, and the therapist shouldn't have said hi to Joan in public. He could have waited and kept it moving. Tony should have no knowledge of her being in therapy. Well, he didn't say who he was. Like, he didn't say it. Joan said it. So it's not like he put that out there. But I could see what you mean by, like, why would you speak to her instead of just, if she wanted to speak to you, then let that happen. But don't be, interfering in people's lives and shit. Pleather would be best. Even leather can be ruined and contaminated by people's fluids. Yuck. Okay. So anyway, she kicks them out. Lynn had an attitude about it, and it's like, girl, how dare you have a fucking attitude when I'm at least letting you stay in my backyard, bitch. At work, Joan is telling everybody no. Maya, no, you can't go to the hairdresser. Find a hairdresser that will take you after work, or teach your husband and your son how to do your hair. Sitting up there talking about my after work time is for Darnell and Jabari. Bitch, what that got to do with me? Your time here is for me. I'm literally paying you for it. It's Darnell. At lunch, Maya and Lynn are bitching about Joan telling them no. And when Joan walks in with Tony, Lynn makes a comment about Joan being Miss Just Say No. And Joan reminds her that, girl, you could really get your ass up out of my backyard if you can't just be happy that I allowed you to stay back there. Giving me no back talk, no smart mouth, bitch. When you had that nigga in my house and I didn't even know you were there. The hell? Maya says, well, I can say what I want to say. And isn't it funny how she's all strict with us, but when it comes to Tony over here, she won't tell her that she's still seeing her therapist. And Tony was like, she stopped going to see him. She was like, oh, I guess I should cancel all of the appointments I made for the next month. And Joan was like, yes, I lied. I'm a liar. I lie to everybody. Girl, when you get to that point, when you get to okay, I'm the bad guy, because you so tired of this shit that you're okay with being the bad guy. Oh, it's such a great moment. It's such an empowering moment after you've been people pleasing your whole life to get to the moment of being like, bitch, I really don't give a fuck. I really don't give a fuck. I genuinely, oh my God, this feels so great. I don't give a fuck. I'm telling y'all right now, I remember the moment that I actually could feel like and say the words out loud that somebody that I love so deeply, you could drop dead. Like when I say that shit, y'all, it's so freeing to me. So freeing. I just love it. Okay? Baby bird coming out of the egg, bitch, because it is it's a revelation. It's a beautiful moment where you could tell people I don't give a fuck. I'm the bad guy. They say I'm the bad guy. Oh yeah, I'm the bad guy. Okay? Tony gets mad. And Tony threatens to stop being friends with Joan if she doesn't stop seeing her therapist. And Joan says, good, you just saved me 4 years of fucking therapy. Deuces. Right? And then Maya reminds us that Joan was the one paying for everybody's lunch. Like, why you always buying these hoes lunch? Like, man, these hoes need to learn how to you know what I'm saying, make a tuna fish sandwich or something. Then, like a psycho, like somebody that won't let go of a relationship, Tony shows up at Joan's therapy session to tell the therapist her side. And at first, the therapist tries to act like a real therapist and says it's completely unprofessional. But when they keep going back and forth and arguing, he allows for both of them to come into his office. And then after that, Tony, again, unhinged, continues to go to Joan's therapist, which I also felt like was fucked up. Like, as a therapist, you should have been like, no, Tony, I'm sorry. I am Joan's therapist. I cannot be your therapist too. I feel like that would be a conflict of interest at this point. Okay? Now, if Joan wants to do a joint session with you, then she can make that appointment for you. But right now, this is Joan's session. So you can make an appointment with my assistant, or we will see you later. And then I would have Joan come into my office and I would close the door. Close the door. Close the door. Okay? I'm not going through this. Tony, on the other hand, was allowed to go in there and do all of this manipulative shit that was really annoying to Joan. And it made Joan seem like she's just being childish. But really, Tony comes into a situation that you shouldn't have never encroached upon. This woman's fucking therapy session. You show up. Now you're being like manipulative and trying to be charming to the therapist so that you can lure him to your side. This is her fucking therapist, you weirdo. Why don't you go and do that with y'all's friend group like you will eventually do? Oh my God. That was the end of episode 2, y'all. That was the end of episode 2. Let me read some of y'all comments. Thank you, Mayor Wolf, for the super chat. I'm so excited you're doing Now That We're Grown reviews. Love all your content. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Girl, now that we're grown, Joan should have stopped being friends with Tony at this point. Like, this should have been the straw to break the camel's back, because this was ridiculous. Like, this was really, really ridiculous that you would show up at her therapy session after you told her to get rid of her therapist. If I can't beat him, join him. If I can't get you to stop going to your therapist, I'm going to manipulate him into being on my side so that he can manipulate you into believing that I'm not the bad guy. You are. That's so crazy, y'all. That is so crazy. Girl, I'll come back for episodes 3 and 4, okay? And we'll get into that later. But I appreciate y'all for coming through for the Now That We're Grown Girlfriend Season 2, the first recap. A little something. Bitches need better friends, okay? Like, my God. They wanted her life. She had the job, the house, the money, the access, but she was neurotic as hell and didn't get it. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I almost feel like Joan's friends kept her in that space of feeling discontent. And it took her a very long time to get her footing. But I think every time Joan would get her footing, somebody else would come in and decenter her from her own life, whether it's a relationship or one of her friends. But they were always coming in to decenter her. And I feel like Joan is one of those women that needed to go an extended period of time without being around other people. Because being around other people would always turn her into, you know, some ass kissing, sycophantic weirdo. And, you know, that wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all for coming through. I appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one, okay? Peace out.